It appears we're live. Let's just double check. Yes, we are. Excellent. Oh, right, I'm just going to wait for a few guys to show up, and then we'll get straight into this, because I'm sure you guys are going to love what I've actually found out. Nice to see you, Bunghole. Interesting name. We're late. Well, for me, it's 9:15 in the morning, so it's not very late for me. In fact, I've only been up a couple of hours. Wow, 3 AM, bloody hell. You need to get to bed, mate. You can watch this back in the morning. 6 watching. We're getting there. I'll wait till we get about 20 in, and then I'll start, because this is going to be pretty awesome, actually. And it's a shame that I haven't been able to get in touch with Nathan, actually, because he's going to love this. He's going to dine on this for ages. Poor Mick West tried his best and failed yet again. Right, let's see if I can share my screen. Let's see. Screen share. Your entire screen. And share. Okay. Come on, guys, we need to get some more people in. We've got 8 watching at the minute. We need more than this. This is going to be awesome. You know, the funny thing is, let me just show you. I had a script written out as well. I literally was partway through this script and started to write it here. And when I actually found out that Mick West had tried to come to his rescue, I was like, oh, this is going to be even better. But I couldn't be arsed writing the entire script, so I thought I'd just do this live. Nice to see you in, Chris UK. Little Duck, nice to see you in. Okay, so as you can see, the title of the video, well, the live stream, is Rory's 5K challenge. Now, I'm sure that you guys are all aware of what his challenge was, and I'm gonna quote him on that. I've actually got it up on here. Let's see. So here's his actual quote. It says, £5,000 on the table. Well, we didn't actually see £5,000 on the table, but I'm assuming that he's actually saying that there is £5,000 being tabled for if anybody can prove that the curve calculators don't include perspective, right? So that is his entire challenge. Now, I was going to go into, like I say, I was going to do a video and explain how he basically showed a whole bunch of fluff for the first 10 minutes, which had nothing to do with the actual challenge. The challenge being that is if you can prove that the curve calculators don't include perspective, right? So I was going to go into great detail about how I can actually prove that. I'm still going to do that right now, actually. However, I want to draw your attention to a couple of things. So this is a video that I published back on the 3rd of November in 2017. So essentially, what, a year and a half ago, something like that. And what we're going to do is going to take a look at a screenshot that I took of Mick West's curve calculator. So if you notice, there's a few different things that are different to what it actually shows now. The main one being, firstly, there is no bulge now in the curve calculators. Now, I will put that down to the fact that if you remember when we were talking about the Isle of Man, Nathan, myself, and Anthony Riley, were on every debate essentially going on about where is the bulge? Where's the bulge? Where's this bulge of water? Where's this hump? So Mick West, in his wisdom, has decided to remove bulge from his curve calculator. Another thing that he's also done is he's reversed the position in which the results show up. So with standard refraction, in other words, including 76R, is now at the top. and basically just the geometric shape of the Earth is below. So it's kind of like it's presuming the Earth radius before the geometric, which sorry, with standard refraction, which I think is pretty dishonest if you ask me. Also, here's a very interesting thing that's happened very recently. Pure angular size results. Now then, guys, you've never seen this before. If you look at the video that I did before in 2017, you can see that there is no pure angular size put in. However, today, if you go to metabunk.org, you will see that there is a pure angular size results put in to the equation. Now then, this is recent, very recent. Now, what I'm going to show you now is this is what's happened. Mick West has tried to come to the rescue to Rory. Now, Rory released this video on the 22nd of March of this year. So we're talking, what date is it today? So it's the 14th of April. So essentially about what? Oh, hang on, about 3 weeks ago. So about 3 weeks ago, Rory put this video out, 22nd of March. Now then, let me find the tab. Here we go. So this is going to the Wayback Machine, and it takes screenshots of websites in a current state on a certain date. So if you look at the snapshots that it actually has, it has a few different dates. So let's go back to the Wayback Machine. Here we go. You put metabunk.org in for the curve, and it shows you these screenshots. So obviously this is April, it hasn't taken any yet. But back in March, it's got the 31st, the 26th, and the 9th. So here we have Rory releasing a video on the 22nd of March. So if we go back and look at the 9th of March, so just over a week and a half or so beforehand, this is the screenshot that was taken by the Wayback Machine of that particular site as it stood. Now, as you can see, there's no angular size calculator put in as of the 9th of March. So 9th of March, no angular size put in. And yet, if we go to the next date up, which is just 4 days after he put his video out, his 5K challenge, and we click, now we have a pure angular size results included into the curve calculator. So let me remind you of the actual challenge. The challenge was, if you can prove that the curve calculators don't include perspective. That was the challenge, right? That was the challenge. This is what Mick West has done. 4 days after, there is a screenshot of him including angular size, and a week and a half before, we have on the 9th, we don't have that angular size included. Do you find that interesting, people? Do you think that's a little bit sly of the Globers to be doing that? And I also want to show you something else as well. Let me just say a few hellos to people that are in here actually. Hazmat, nice to see you in. Dan W, Voynich, Hazmat, Rhett Priestley, Trish, nice to see you in. Yes, it is very sly, because it seems like he's included that to basically prop up or save Rory from paying out this £5,000, because essentially this is what I was going to do. I was going to do this video on this. However, I can still win the £5,000, and I'm going to show you how. Even though Mick West has come in with his bullshit, I'm not going to include that one. Let's do it from this one, for instance. Right, okay. So we have a viewer height here. This is Mick West's calculator, and he's screwed up pure angular size results. He's screwed it up. It's wrong. He's done it the wrong way, and I'll show you how. So is viewer height in, you know, a normal human being, let's say 6 feet. Let's put the distance that we're trying to look at something at 1 mile away. So essentially we should just see it. There shouldn't be any problems with that. What we have when we're looking for the angular size results is we have minus degrees, minus radians, minus degrees, minus radians, right? And if we put the distance in miles to say 20, which is obviously hidden in their ball earth bullshit, refracted hidden, we've got 160 feet, so it's hidden, we shouldn't see it. We don't have minus anymore, we have a plus value. So he's actually saying that we should be able to see it, because obviously plus is higher than minus. So essentially what he's done is he's got these the wrong way around. What he should be doing is he should have a minus for this hidden, because obviously the angle would be minus because you wouldn't see it. And for something that's obviously visible, he should have a, you know, he should remove that minus and it should be just 0.04 as opposed to minus 0.04, because that would say that it would be hidden. Again, in his haste to try and stick up for Rory, he's screwed up. Who else have we got in? Let's see. Flat chord music, nice to see you in. FAM, yes, that's how we address flat earth, flat chord music, because it's such a long thing to type out. So FAM, Karen B as well, for instance, when she shows up, it's just KB, you know, just far easier than typing a load of stuff out. Right, so going back to Metabunk. Okay, so here we have the Metabunk curve calculator. So bearing in mind that this is where I'm going to try and win this £5,000. The claim is, let's go back to the claim, if you can prove that the curve calculators don't include perspective, right? So here we have a visual of what you should see. You have a hidden portion and you have a visible portion. So it's really that simple. You either see it or you don't. It's either hidden or it's visible, one or the other, right? So you can't have an in-between. It's visible or it's not, yeah? And there's no distinction there. There's no hidden, there's no hidden, visible, and an intermediate part which includes perspective, you know, the angular size. We're going to go to this now and we're going to put in Blackpool Tower, or an observation of Blackpool Tower. So from Hoylake, I was 29.3 miles away. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my viewer height, my actual viewer height, I'm going to pretend that I was standing on something 490 feet in height, right? And what you'll see is that with standard refraction, it is dead on zero. Zero, nothing hidden, nothing not seen. Okay, so for instance, if I go down to 480, you will see that there is 0.6 of a foot hidden, right? 0.6 of a foot. And if I go to 500, it just says non-refracted horizon is beyond the distance, right? So essentially, you've either got non-refracted, the horizon is beyond the distance, target distance. So if that's the case, that would mean that it's visible, right? Anything that you get this result means that it's visible, right? So from 29.3 miles away, and the viewer height is 500 feet, we should see basically 0.6 of a foot. Let's go to 520. Again, it's still not going to give you a result, but essentially we should be seeing around about a foot or so from that elevation, right? Now let's go to perspective angular size. So here we go. So the angular size, right? So this is doing it in meters, right? So what I've done here is I've put 29.3 miles as a distance and a target that I'm trying to view of 3 meters. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower that to 1 meter, right? And we're going to calculate it, right? So essentially, I should be seeing the top of the tower by 1 meter. I should see a meter of it from this distance. Well, it gives me a degree. It gives me 0.001 of a degree, right? That's the actual degree that I can actually see it. Well, where does that show it in Metabunk's curve calculator? It doesn't. It says it's visible. It doesn't say anything other than visible. So I should see it, right? That's what it says. However, if we go to, let's find it, where are we? Here we go. So we're going to look at the diffraction limit and basically the angular resolution of things. And right at the bottom, we have the arc seconds or the degree. So 0.001, which is the same as what I've just showed you there. If I'm stood and I'm trying to view Blackpool Tower from an elevation of 520 feet, I should see 1 meter of it. Well, here we go. 0.01 is the degree that I should be seeing it. However, to do that, we would need what's called a very large telescope, an interferometer or something like that. To see something with a greater degree, you would need something called an adaptive optics, basically a 10-meter telescope, right? So I would need something bigger than a 10-meter telescope, far greater, a 100-meter telescope, to see something that's 0.001 arc seconds, right? The human eye, or 20/20 vision, we've got things down here. We've got 10 arc seconds. We've got 1 arc seconds, where we've got things down to the Hubble Space Telescope, for instance. The Hubble Space Telescope, 0.1 arc seconds. So basically, if you had the Hubble Space Telescope on Earth, you still couldn't see that 1 meter of the top of Blackpool Tower from 29.3 miles away. So where does that show it in Metabunk's curve calculator? Where are we seeing this? It just says it's visible. How is it visible when the diffraction limit says that we can't see it? Our eyes can't see it. The Hubble Space Telescope wouldn't be able to see it. A 10-meter telescope would not be able to see it, right? I want my £5,000, Rory, because the Metabunk curve calculator should say hidden, visible, and then it should have a grey area in the middle. It should have a grey area where it includes, because you do know this now, because you've included your angular size, it should include anything under an angular size of 0.02 should be unresolvable. You shouldn't be able to see it. So you should have a area here that shows it in the diffraction limit, i.e. you cannot resolve it with optics. So thank you very much. This is an Earth curve calculator. Mick West tried to help you out with the including angular size. He screwed it up because he's done it the wrong way around anyway. But also, he should also have included this grey area where the diffraction limit basically says that it's too small to resolve. You cannot see it. Even with a 10-meter telescope, you would still not be able to see it. Thank you very much. 5K. Oh, Trish, thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Do appreciate that. I'll grab myself a beer with that. Who else have we got in? Stopping traffic in the Rasta hat. Nice to see you in. Hang on, Flat Earth Music. How come you do not have a wrench? Who else do we have in? Hazmat Night. Well, here we go. Right. Put water in a telescope. It slows light down. Proves that we do not move and also proves light can slow down. Yeah, that's true. So do you think he's going to pay up, guys? He said, what's the challenge? If you can prove that the curve calculators don't include perspective, right? Do you think I've actually won it? Do you think I've done enough to prove that the curve calculator doesn't include perspective? Do you think that 1 meter, you know, that if you're seeing 1 meter of the top of Blackpool Tower and they're begging the question, ball earth model, if we're seeing 1 meter of it at the top, that we could see it with any kind of telescope or eye or anything like that? Nice to see you, Spurs. No, he will never pay. He will never admit he was wrong. It's just not as possible. Also, I wanted to look back on his video slightly earlier on, actually, because he goes into laughing about this particular image that Nathan puts out. So obviously Nathan does a different image. He puts this image up. Let me just hide the screen on that so you can see it. But you see this image here where you've got a human stood at the top of the globe Earth, and you've got these mountains getting smaller and smaller away as you go. He's laughing at this point. He's laughing and saying this isn't perspective. Well, let me show you something about what perspective actually is. Now, this is from the dictionary, basically Cambridge English Dictionary. So what is perspective? The way that objects appear smaller when they are further away, and the way parallel lines appear to meet each other at a point in the distance, right? That is the definition for perspective. The way things appear smaller when they are further away. So when we're looking at this particular image here, and he's scoffing at this and saying that, okay, these mountains are getting smaller the further away they go, to the point where they basically become invisible due to the fact that they have no angular size big enough to resolve, that it's rubbish. So if we lived on a flat plane, in his mind, this idea that things get smaller to the point where we can't see them is ridiculous. And I think it's quite obvious that he doesn't know what perspective is. He's the one that doesn't know it. It's quite obvious that flat earthers do know what perspective is. Wiggles also admitted this morning it didn't include it. Yes, I actually saw that. It doesn't include perspective. And guys, if you've just turned up Spurs Chemo, you'll be interested in this, pal. Metabunk have now included, if we look over here, where are we? Metabunk, here we go. They've now included this pure angular size results. So they've actually included the angular size, and they've done that since Rory put his video out. So Rory put his video out on the 22nd of March. Here we go, 22nd of March. And if we go back to the Wayback Machine, which is here, and let's go back to the 9th of March, so basically a week and a half before he put his video out, there was no angular size calculator put in by Mick West. He hadn't included that in his calculator. And yet when we look at just 4 days after Rory put his video out, they obviously realized that someone like myself would come along and include this. They then included this, so that if anybody put a video out saying that you don't include the angular size of stuff, he could refer back to it and say, well, no, Mick West has it here. You can see on his curve calculator that it shows that it has perspective included, i.e. angular size. So it was a way of Mick West trying to basically stick up for his friend, and it's failed. It's failed because he's done it the wrong way as well. I mean, he's failed. It should be, these results are the wrong way around. For a distance of 4 miles and a viewer height of 6 feet, we have hidden, it's here in their model, 0.33, and the actual geometric hidden is 0.67 of a foot. But we actually have a plus value in the results. So we have plus values, plus values, plus values. If we increase the distance in miles to 10, well, we can actually see stuff. So we can actually see things here, 26 feet of it. We actually have negative results. Oh, has he just changed that? Oh my goodness me. He has just changed that. He must be watching this video. Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. Hang on. I was using that on the wrong one. Here we go. This is today's. Bear with me, guys. Let me try that again. So, distance in miles, 2. Viewer height, 6 feet. Yeah, here we go. Oh, he's changed it. He must be watching this. What a little sly little man. Distance in miles, 1. Now we're getting the negative values come in. Distance in miles, 2. So we should still see it. We're getting plus value. What's going on here? He's changing this as we're doing it. 6 miles. Where's all the minus gone? 9 miles. We're seeing it. Let's go down to 1 mile. Yes, he's changed it. That little shit's in my live stream. That little shit's in my live stream. He's in watching this. He's seen that I've pulled him up on this. Did I include Mick West? I have actually. I've put Mick West to the rescue and he still screws up. That's the title. I only started streaming this 26 minutes ago. And fortunately, if you look back at the earlier part of the video, you will see where I actually show this, where he actually does it and he screws up. And what he's done in the meantime is he's actually fucking changed it live within the last 15 minutes to hide his error. Holy shit. Oh, well, at least he's addressing the situation. At least he's addressing the situation. But guys, honestly, if you watch at the start of the video, you'll see me do this exact same thing. And I put the distances in and they're all the wrong way around. He's reversed them. They should be the way they are now. He's actually changed it. But at the start of the video, less than 20 minutes ago, he actually had it the other way around, which was wrong. Wow. Hi, Mick West. Would you like a link? Would you like to join? Mick West, if you want a link, I'll send you the link, my friend, and you can tell me where you've just changed your calculator. Oh, well, I'm so glad I actually did a live stream on this right now because I was going to do a concise video over it. As I say, I was part way through actually writing the script, which was here. And then I noticed this Mick West did this stuff. And I was like, yeah. I'll do it live instead because I couldn't be asked doing it. But he's actually changed it live. So I've actually showed you him doing it live. This is awesome. Come on, Mick West, just say hello. I know you're in here. You can't get away from it. You were caught out. Live. Right, who else have we got in? Eddie Bravo fanboy. Nice to see you in. Christopher Lees, yeah, that's quite funny. Live debug report. Click this video, Ranty, make a short video showing mixed deceit. I can, and that's the good thing. I can actually do that because live on this video, right at the start, when I actually did this, it showed the values the wrong way around. So he's actually doing it live. I mean, why doesn't he even just say, hi Ranty, I'm watching. Thanks for pointing out the error that I included. And I hold my hand up. I had to alter it. I had to change it. Why don't you just admit that? Why don't you just come in and say that? Thanks, Ranty, for pointing it out. It'd be very nice of you to actually do that. But I don't think I need to go on much more, to be honest. I don't. It is quite pathetic, yeah. Julie Bennett, yeah. yeah, I don't think I really need to go on much more. I mean, this is quite funny. Firstly, I want my 5K Rory. It doesn't include perspective, and I'll just run through very quickly why it doesn't include perspective. The angular size calculator of 1 meter height of Blackpool Tower, visible from 29.3 miles away, gives the degree of 0.001. And if we go to the diffraction limits, we would find that essentially even a 10-meter telescope, the Hubble Space Telescope, if it was on Earth, wouldn't be able to see it. A 10-meter telescope wouldn't be able to see it. In fact, you would need something astronomically large to even get close to seeing this 0.01 arc seconds of, basically the degree that we're trying to look at it. So when you say that the Earth curve calculators don't include perspective, well, clearly they don't, because perspective would include the diffraction limit. If we go to Metabunk's curve calculator, we don't have a diffraction limit. We do have a very clear visible and hidden with no gray area. It's either visible or it's hidden. There's no area in the middle that includes for the diffraction limit, or the area of something that we're trying to see that is too small to resolve. So if we look at Blackpool Tower, for instance, and we know at the top of Blackpool Tower we have a flag, right? We wouldn't be able to see, let's say that flag is 1 meter tall, we should be able to see the flag at 0.001 arc seconds, but yet we can't see it because of the diffraction limit and the limits to our eyes and our optics and the cameras that we have available to us. So essentially, we wouldn't be able to see it, although the Earth curve calculator says it's visible. That's it. It just says visible. It's either hidden or visible. There's no gray area. This is why the Earth curve calculators don't include perspective. They do not include perspective. Perspective would include things that have a diffraction limit, and they're here in arc seconds. These are the diffraction limits. Everything has a diffraction limit. Everything has an angle with which you can see it at. And there are angles that are too small to see. Earth curve calculators don't include that angle. They just say it's visible. That is a lie. It is not just visible. It is hidden due to the angular size limit and the diffraction limit of the thing we're trying to see. So I want my £5,000, and Mick West, you can thank me later, mate, if you want to put a thank you up for pointing out the error of your ways with the this area here, which you changed live on my stream, live. That's great. Yeah, I'll take all the credit. Thank you very much. Right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for coming, everybody. If I've missed anybody, missed any super chats, I don't think I've. Just got the Trish. Thank you very much. Do appreciate it. And yeah. Oh, and yeah, actually, I might as well promote it. If you do feel like you want to support the channel, I do have a Patreon. So if you want to search on Patreon for Ranty Flat Earth, I would appreciate it. Genuinely, I would appreciate it. Your help will help me to do more observations and more stuff going forward. So anyway, thank you very much. Glad you enjoyed the stream, and you can get on with your Sunday now. See you all later.